All right, so begins the first episode of behind the scenes from making of Sharks and Riptides Minecraft Edition. So this is gonna be a little bit more low key than other stuff, as I'm kind of just gonna flash forward through ideas. So we're in a very, very, very early stages of Sharks and Riptides Minecraft. In fact, we're so early right now that it hasn't even been announced. This is just kind of like behind the scenes type stuff. In fact, it's so secret that Jay doesn't even know I'm recording at the moment. So I kind of want to keep that a secret as well. And once it gets closer to being a finished product, just kind of like surprise him with it, because I think that would be cool too. So let me show you what I have so far. So this is actually the first floor of Sharks and Riptides. For those of you who are not familiar with what Sharks and Riptides is, Sharks and Riptides is actually a game that Jay and I created. I just want to lighten up this water a little bit. So a lot of the stuff that I'm doing here is gonna be trial and error. So it's really like the making of edition here. It's pretty cool that we can use stuff like sea cucumbers now to lighten up this water and make it a little bit more vibrant. Probably add some of this dark spot too. But yeah, so what Sharks and Riptides is, it's a game that Jay and I made, and right now it's completely like podcast based. It has nothing to really do with like, this one's gonna be pretty bright because there's a lot of sea lanterns on the cusp, but like in spots like this it's gonna be really bright. Sorry, I'm just gonna kind of like ramble on as I'm doing stuff. So it was a text based kind of like Dungeons and Dragons game that we made that has elements from a lot of different types of games. There's Etrian Odyssey elements in there, there's Persona elements, Dragon Quest elements, Pokemon elements, kind of. This one's pretty bright just because there's so many sea lanterns. Like, and stuff like this, the corners are really... Not that I have to worry about like griefing or anything, because there's no mobs spawning in this world, but just to try to make it have a little bit more flair. So this is actually the first floor that we made, and originally I had drawn it out instead of... I did it on like graph paper instead of doing anything like this. So every single one of these squares is going to represent one space. So this middle is going to be like, see where it says red and red, it's going to be A, B, C, all the way down to J, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 10. So it's going to be floor A1, it's going to be A2, A3, it's going to be B3. Water is actually not traversable, so I can't just go boop and be in there, even though like there's no penalty in Minecraft like there is in Sharks and Riptides. But so yeah, this is actually the full game map. These blue ones, this is what's going to be called a random happening square. You have a chance to take damage, find nothing, find treasure, get attacked by a mob, whatever it may be. And then like you have this. In Sharks and Riptides, these are actually monster squares. Those monsters move on the map as you move on the map as well, but in Minecraft Edition, it's kind of impossible to replicate. So this is going to be an absolute guaranteed battle square. We're definitely going to have like periodic battles as well. In Sharks and Riptides, we do 3 turns. It'll probably be a little bit more like 5 turns in Minecraft Edition. And the goal is obviously going to be treasure spots. There you have a chance to get a variety of different items. So red's going to be enemy, blue's going to be happenings, and stuff like this. Whereas like, oh man, one of the happening squares here is going to be that you can get this treasure. So that would be how you unlock that treasure, even though water's not traversable. Because this is a random square, it gives you that option of being able to get this treasure. And then finally we have the diamond squares, which is going to represent our bosses. Here is going to be where you fight your boss, and right behind it is going to be the staircase up to the next level. And then in the next level, between every level, there's going to be shark, penguin, unicorn. The unicorn's pretty shitty, but I should have used stairs, I think. Why is daylight cycling on? Oh, I know why, because I was showing Jay what it looked like overnight. Okay. So in between each floor and where you spawn is going to be a little shopping district as well. This is where you're going to be able to shop and get new items, upgrade your current items and stuff like that. So I'm thinking for every shop, it's going to be stuff like you're going to find like anvil shop, you're going to find like a furnace where you can turn certain items into smelted version of those items, and you can use that to power up. There's going to be the crafting station. So say, for example, you have 5 metal ingots. You can transfer, even though I'm going to use the same rates in Minecraft. So I think it's 9 ingots to get a bar. So for example, if you have like 9 iron ingots, you can get 1 iron bar. And certain enemies will drop iron ingots, or with a rare chance to drop just a bar. And you can use those bars to either get better equipment or trade with your shops, and everything's going to have pre-decided shops. So that's where this is going to come into a little bit more in depth than Sharks N Riptides on text, because on text there's actually not. I need to leave these open so I can put the stairs. On text, these shops are actually procedural, and while that may be cool, these ones are going to be a little bit more dynamic and preset because just of the nature of Minecraft. The idea of this is to make it as simple as possible. And the reason why I'm using polished diorite is this diorite? Andesite. Sorry, polished andesite is because it already has kind of like a grid to it. I'll show you once I get to the top of this. It has like a grid feel to it, which is really nice. I get autosave lag nice. Yeah, so I'm thinking of keeping this as simple as possible. We're going to be going with a few classes, which I'm going to break down more and more as we go through. But one class I definitely am interested in making is called the Lagooner. I'm going to go into classes more and more in depth as we get closer. Yeah, we can. Yeah, so we'll have more and more in depth to those. But the Lagooner is a pretty cool class. So obviously it's still pretty tentative to change as well. But the idea behind it is that the Lagooner is actually going to be the Trident class. Tridents were introduced in Minecraft 1.13, and they're pretty powerful. Even at base, they're already more powerful than like the sword and stuff. This actually worked out perfectly. Look at that. So yeah, I can actually cover up some of that. And then you go right into here. Excellent. So what I'll probably do is make like a little overledge here, and then loop it around, and then you get your store. So we can actually cover this because there shouldn't be any head knocking problems, which is cool. So the Lagooner is going to be based off the Trident class, and so there's a catch because Tridents are already so strong. I'm thinking, what if I just do this? And boop, boop, boop. Cool. Might actually just do that with all of it and kind of just wall that out. Yeah, like I said, a lot of this is going to be like on the fly, so I do apologize about the commentary not like always being like the surest. Yeah, it's much better. But this is kind of like behind the scenes as everything is being made as well. So now I'm actually going to go and make like the beginner guys should probably be a little bit brighter in this corner. So yeah, Lagooner. So using the Trident obviously is going to give you a huge advantage because it's going to be a pretty strong weapon. But the thing about it is that it gets its power based on how many fish you have on hand. Whether it be raw, whether it be cooked, doesn't really matter. However many fish you have on hand, that's going to be how your power equates. So, say you have 0 fish in your hand, you're going to have 0 attack with this thing. So you're really going to be relying on your partners. But I may balance that and make it so you have a minimum of 1. But obviously, you'll still have your regular attack power, so probably not. You'll probably just be really reliant on your overall attack power. And I say probably because I don't know exactly yet what I'm gonna do. So you'll at that point you'll probably just be really reliant. I'm just gonna patch up some holes on your attack power as opposed to actual attack from the weapon. Now, this sounds really stupid on paper, having a weapon that like is kind of unpredictable. You don't know if it's going to be really strong or not. But hear me out. Ugh. Yeah, that's pretty terrible. I wonder what biome more. Think. I'm gonna get rid of that. Yeah, it's pretty terrible color. So I'll probably just make this like a variety of stone stuff later on, but for now I'll just leave it because I have to decide. So obviously with that, you're gonna be able to get fish. It's gonna be, oh yeah, you know, this could be pretty powerful. But at the same time, you never know because can it? How do you get fish? So the way you get fish is actually going to be through shops. And obviously, sometimes getting items could be a little bit more challenging than others. And I definitely want this to not be the easiest. So, with that said, getting fish may not be the easiest thing in the world. They're definitely going to be available as a rare drop. Too many colors. But, oh, too many colors. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to get rid of this and just do that. I'll throw that here as well. Sorry, my controls are a little bit slidey. So I was thinking about making like the prices of fish extremely outrageous. I think that would be really funny, especially if like someone ends up being a lagooner, and they're like, "Oh man, you know, this might be good. I'm a really strong character," but at the same time, you're like, "Oh crap, I have to now get fish, but I have to sit here and get money for fish." Which may not be the easiest thing. Because fish are going to be... I do apologize about the banging as well. The people upstairs are just crazy obnoxious all the time. But let me take a second to put the control down and actually describe this to you. So the Lagooner's power is going to be based upon its attack power. And I know I keep like repeating it. It's kind of because I was losing focus. And with that said, the more fish you get, you can only get fish by drops or through trading or buying in the shops. And the more fish you have, the more power your trading gets. This actually enables it to have infinite power because of the fact that you could have infinite amounts of fish. And with that said, it's kind of like a slow burn type of thing. Whoa, damage handles pretty cool. It's like, do you wait it out and become really strong, or do you not and kind of just like say fuck it? Be like, oh, I don't want this power anyway. You know what I mean? Like, but it definitely has like the potential to be a very strong class if you wait it out. Or it could be one of those classes that's kind of just like, ugh, I really just don't have the tolerance for this anymore. I think this looks pretty good. Just continue it like that. Just mess around with the texture a little bit. I kind of want this to be like, I'm just destroying like crazy because it doesn't really matter. I kind of want this to be a little bit of a bridge. So we'll do that. We'll go, oh, no, with that. And we'll go with the regular andesite. I really like the way that this is coming out. A little more polished like that. We'll go hollow. Maybe we'll throw a few stone slabs in there as well because I kind of like the color. Although it does put me in like that same like predicament from earlier where it's just too many colors. We'll just go with regular cobblestone. Yeah. No. Put some polish there. Polished here. And the site. And the site. And we'll. Ooh. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea behind that. I'm actually going to destroy that, and I'll put the polished here as well. And like I said, I know I'm rambling on a lot. That's going to be kind of how these are. It's going to be kind of just me rambling because I'm focused on like creating and being inventive, kind of. There. So that's 5, and that's 5, and that's perfectly even. I think that looks pretty great, honestly. I think I might actually put a wall around this and build that up with it as well. I know it's just gonna be a really big square, but it's kind of just gonna how it's gonna be because that's kind of how the dungeon is. So it's really no fault of mine. It's really just fault of the dungeon. But yeah, so with that said, that's the Lagooner. It's kind of like a long-term plan. You need to be like, oh man, I'm gonna go with this class just because I want to be really strong. And obviously, the Trident has some pretty amazing enchantments like Riptide and Channeling and Impaling and stuff like that. So it's a really strong weapon. It's just it takes a while to get there, and I think that's definitely how it goes here. Tridents are also completely unique in the fact that they are the only standard-based weapon that offers 5 slots. I'll get into that in the next video. I'm going to go more into like weapon creation and stuff like that as well in the next video. But for this one, I just kind of want to give a little introductory. So this is going to be Sharks N Riptides Minecraft Edition. It's going to be a more simple down version of the game just to match the simplicity of Minecraft. But it's also going to be pretty complex in the sense that there's going to be a lot of new mechanics for us to learn for this. I want you guys to go check out Sharks N Riptides as well if you're not familiar with it, because we put a lot of work into it, and I feel like it's pretty great. And this is just going to be kind of a more available version for everybody to make their own dungeons, to make their own cities and their own kind of like agendas, and use our template for monsters and weapons and stuff like that, and in their own as well. So it's going to be pretty cool to see if you guys go with that as well, and you guys kind of invent your own things. You go, well, put an animal here. How does that look? Yeah, I think it's kind of over. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of making Minecraft Sharks N Riptides. I'm not going to be doing this for every episode. I'll probably just do like individual progress reports here and there. I do a lot of off screen, and every time you see it, it's going to be more and more stuff here. But yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.